Alright, today we're going to talk about the distributive property in mathematics. So the distributive property, it tells us how to multiply a number that's outside a set of parentheses with what's going on the inside. Now, if we have something like this, 3 times like 7 minus 4, it's generally easier to do the 7 minus 4 and get 3 than do 3 times 3 to get 9. It's generally much easier to do that. However, for problems like this, 5 times x minus 2, or any other variable, it's impossible to combine the x and the 2. They don't combine if there's a subtraction symbol in between them, or an addition symbol. So we need to understand how to simplify that to get rid of our parentheses, how to actually multiply that 5 there. And the way it works is very simple. The number outside the parentheses multiplies by each number inside the parentheses. So if it's a times b plus c, it becomes ab plus ac. If it's a times b minus c, it's ab now minus ac. Now normally you're going to see the number on the left side of the parentheses. It's considered aesthetically pleasing in some ways, really to see it more there, but it is still possible to see on the right hand side. So in this case it's still the same properties. B times a, c times a, with the plus sign in between. B times a, c times a with the minus sign in between. You got to keep track also, these are assuming all these signs right here, the a, b, and c are all positives. If any one of these is negatives, it's going to also change how this sign right here gets interacted with, and whether this overall thing is positive as well. So if we take a look back at this thing right here, we know that when we do 7 minus 4 we get 3, and then 3 times 3 is 9. Well, let's use the distributive property to get that same result. So we do 3 times 7, which is 21, minus 3 times 4, which is 12. And then 21 minus 12, lo and behold, is still 9. So if we have a problem like this one right here, where we actually have a variable where we couldn't have gone through this simplification process, well, 5 times the x is just 5x, and then 5 times our 2 is 10. Since there was no negative signs to change anything, it's still minus 10. So let's take a look at a couple more examples. So something similar to that, we have 8 times x plus 5. So we're going to do 8 times the x is 8x, and 8 times the 5 is 40. There were no negative signs, nothing needs to change sign, and that's our answer. We can't combine 8x and 40 like we couldn't combine x and 5. Addition sign needs to have the same type of problem. We need to have another x to combine with an x, another number to combine with another number. So I have something like this. We have negative 4 times 2x minus 7. We still, again, multiply our numbers. So negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. So we have a negative 8x. And the negative 4 times the negative 7, well, that's a positive number, because negative times negative is positive. So 4 times 7 is 28, so it becomes plus 28. So again, one way to think about this, the inside originally was positive and negative. If we're multiplying by a negative number, it now switches, because this becomes negative, negative 8x. 7 became the positive 28. And again, if it's on the right-hand side, it's still the same process. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. 2 times 4 is positive 8. It gets a little bit more interesting when we have our distributive property combined with other concepts. Now, I can't add this 8x to anything yet because, well, I gotta do multiplication inside the parentheses stuff first, PEMDAS. Let's see what happens. So 12 times a negative x, think of this like a negative 1 in front of the x. 12 times negative 1 is a negative 12x. 12 times 9 is 108, and then plus our 8x. Well, now we have two x terms. So what we're going to do is what we call combining like terms. With PEMDAS and order of operations in the previous video, we add and subtract our numbers together based off they were all the same numbers, or similar types of numbers. Here we have x's, so now we just kind of ignore the x for a second, add them. What's negative 12 plus 8? Well, negative 12 plus 8 is a negative 4. So it becomes a negative 4x plus 108. The variable, when you're adding them together, if they're like variables, doesn't change. It has to stay the same when you're adding or subtracting. The variable will change when you multiply, but again, that is a much later lesson we're going to talk about. It has to be the exact same. If I somehow had like 2x squared plus 7x, even though they're both x's, they're not really the same. This is 1x and this is an x squared. Two different ones, they can't combine. Alright, so I want you to use your distributive property to simplify those two expressions. So go ahead and pause your video while you work on that, and again, I'll provide the answers at the end. Alright, you should have gone 12x minus 44 for the first one, and negative 3x plus 30 for the second one. Alright, as always, leave a comment if you have any questions or if you found any errors in the video. Take care.